Hello, Salim Omar here from the Straight Talk Small Business Success Podcast. I've got a special guest for us today. Her name is Liz Cortes. Liz, welcome.
Thank you so much, Salim.
Liz has worked full time with her husband at Rebel Fish Local Marketing Agency in San Diego for 7 years. They help local businesses get more traffic with local search engine optimization and Google Ads, PPC ads. Um, Now, agency life, Liz says, was great, but they wanted the clients' websites and landing pages to convert better so they could up their copywriting skills, and they became story brand guides. This poured fuel on the fire of the traffic strategies for clients, and it helped them grow 30% last year. Liz, let's start off with you sharing your backstory. What led you to start your local marketing agency and then co-working or co-founding and working with your husband?
Yeah, so I was a fitness influencer and I took my personal training business online in 2009. So that was when I got my feet wet with all things online marketing and built that up. And I got married a couple of years later and met my husband. It was always my dream to work with my spouse. And he was in the restaurant industry. He's had multiple businesses that he's built up and sold, and mostly brick and mortars. And so when it came time to start our agency, he tried to do it on his own. And because he had so much success with restaurants and turning around their reviews and their online marketing, he was doing that back in the 90s. Online marketing was something that he used in his businesses. And a friend of ours was like, instead of you guys starting your own agency, why don't you go work for another agency? They make multiple seven figures, like go work for them, learn all the strategies, and then start your own. So we went, my husband and I, to go work on the side over there. And we were making great income, doing sales and learning, this fun strategies. But the owner gambled away half of the company on all the revenue and had to let go of half the company. So we very quickly opened up our agency 2 weeks later, and we've just slowly grown a few clients each month. And that's how we got started.
Got it. So when you say agency, you work with clients, you help them grow their top line, right? Help them
Yes,
bring in more customers, more clients, patients.
absolutely.
If someone's looking to refuel their small business with more revenues and clients, customers, whatever they call it in their business, what should they do to grow that? What are some of the things you advise them to do to grow their top line?
So the very first question I like to ask, whether I'm on a sales call or I'm doing a strategy session with a new client, is what is your most profitable product or service? That's where I like to start. And maybe most of the time they don't know. I know for you, numbers are important. You track your numbers. Numbers are so important. If you don't know that data, like how can you grow and make changes? And so if they don't know, then we list down all their products and services and look out what the revenue was for the previous year for each of those services. So the goal is to figure out which one is the most profitable, but which one is the most fun to fulfill, that they just love doing. It's easy. They have great teamwork. It's amazing because you may need to eliminate. So once we figure out what that number one product or service is, that is where I like to really dial in and focus and create what are the objectives for the year? How many of that product or service do you want total? Then we figure out what that gap is, and then we could build that strategy to grow that one. You could downsell or cross-sell to another product or service if you get on calls or your marketing is not working the way you want. But I really like to dial in one thing to sell, whatever it's the best, most profitable, and get that dialed in to hit those income levels.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's almost, it's obvious as well, but it's interesting that so many people overlook that, right? That simple thing that let's kind of start with what is that most profitable thing that you wanna grow. What is that service? What is that product?
And it could
So it's really
surprise
having
you.
that clarity. Yeah.
Yeah, it could really surprise you, and it can really give you that clarity on, like, I remember one year I did this 3 years ago, and I really worked hard to promote this new service. We thought that it was something, it ended up only being 10% of our gross revenue that year. And I was
Hmm.
like, wow, for how much money I spent on marketing, advertising, and to build everything out, for it to only bring in 10% of total revenue, I was like, that was not worth the time. And so the next year I cut that. I actually cut 3 services that year because they were these little ones. So, because when you're an agency, you say, yes, sure, I can do that. Sure, we can help you with that. And yes, we have large clients that we will do a lot of things for, but like in the intro you read, we focus primarily on local SEO, Google Ads, and storyboard and copywriting work. Those are our 3 top services. And if you go anywhere on social media or our website, you're gonna know exactly what we do because that's all you see. Now, for our clients that come in, and I recommend this for your listeners, you can offer everything, just don't put it up online that you do everything, because then it's confusing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good advice. Now, when it comes to growing a business and using online strategies, you mentioned a few things that you do. In the context of which strategy a business owner should start with, you mentioned search engine optimization, you mentioned pay-per-click ads, and then you mentioned story brand. So kind of like give us a little bit of what each is and where does, which one's the one to start with?
Yes, the one to start with, this one could be for local businesses if you want clients or customers within about 5-10 miles radius of your physical location. This could also apply to you if you're a coach or a consultant, and maybe you meet on Zoom with your clients, but you want to get some local traffic. Like you want local clients, like you want to be known in your city. So this strategy will work for those 2 types of businesses. And it's a local SEO strategy, which is setting up a Google business profile. Okay, so that's all your Google Maps, what shows up on there. And I always like to start there. And you'd be surprised how many people don't take advantage of this free traffic. It's a free page, very easy to set up. And you can fill it out 100%. And Google will send you leads. They'll send you visitors. Those visitors will click to your website. And that's where I like to start everyone, is Google My Business. That's what it used to be called, Google My Business. Now it's called Google Business Profile. That's the new thing.
That's like the low-hanging fruit, it sounds like,
Mhm.
from what you've described, that go there
Absolutely.
quickly and
Do
get
that
that
first. You'll get
situated. Yeah.
results quicker. It just makes
Yeah.
sure, the biggest mistake that I see people make is choosing the wrong category. So back in the day, like when we first started our agency, our very first client was a laundromat. They had 3 locations. Now we've helped them grow to 10. But back then, Google business page did not even have a category called laundromat. Now they have it, finally. They're constantly adding new categories. So you want to choose a primary category that's as close to the primary service that you offer. So for example, like a CPA certified, like on Google business profile, you have to like say out the whole word. Like it's not CPA, it's certified public accountant, or maybe it's accounting firm or bookkeeping. Like you have to figure it out, and you can have, typically it's like up to 10 secondary categories, and you could fit whichever ones are other services that you offer on there. So start there. That's where you want to go. Then I'd say after you do your Google My Business, then you want to choose how you're going to create content. So Salim, right now you're podcasting. You're like, I love podcasting. Like, this is what I love doing. But maybe you love doing video. Maybe you don't like talking or being on video, but you could write, or someone on your staff knows how to write and enjoys that. You could blog. But you need to have a content strategy that isn't just talking about whatever you feel like talking about that day. It needs to be strategic, based on what your ideal customers would be Googling and searching for, whether it's in your city or it's nationwide in the country. That's where I'd say would be the second thing to do.
Got it. Yeah. And just to clarify for the listeners, why is creating content important? How is that connected to search engine optimization?
Yes, I really believe that each business is unique, and there could be 100 dentists in your area. There could be just tons of competition wherever you live, but you're going to provide a unique product or service. You're going to be working with a specific group of ideal clients, if you know who the avatar is. So when you pick the piece of content that is going to attract your ideal clients, then you will grow your company. You're going to write relevant content. People are going to be searching. So kind of the difference between Google, or let's say you're on Facebook. Someone on Facebook is scrolling. They're not looking to really solve their problems. They're probably bored. They're standing in line at the grocery store and they're just scrolling mindlessly or before they go to bed. But someone that goes on Google and types in a question, they're looking for answers. They're doing research. Most of the time, they're looking to hire someone. And so if you have content up there and you can get it to rank on page 1 of Google when they search, like, I don't know why I'm thinking of this divorce attorney. I don't know why I'm thinking of this. I've been married for 10 years, very happily. I know you're very happily married. I don't know why that is popping up in my head right now, but that's a problem that they're trying to solve. They're not going to go to Facebook first to search that. They're going to go to Google. They don't want their friends or their husband or whoever to know they're searching for that. They're going to go and do the research over there. So that's why it's really important that you as a business owner, you need to pick which content strategy to do and make sure that you choose the right keywords that people are searching for so they find you.
Yeah. And would you say that, I mean, search engine optimization takes a while before the business starts ranking, organically starts ranking higher? So they appear on page 1 and then they appear towards the top of the page, right? And so that's an investment of time and resources. Google ads, pay-per-click ads is quicker, faster response, ROI. Do you say it's doing one versus the other, or is it balancing the two? How does that work?
So it has changed over the 7 years that I've worked with my husband. At the beginning, focusing on reviews, your reputation, getting reviews, and doing the long-term strategy of SEO worked great. These days, what's working great is a combo of local SEO and Google Ads. That's what's working really, really awesome. I mean, during the past couple years, a lot of people pulled back with their advertising because we were scared. We didn't know. You've got loans, you're figuring things out. People were scared. They pulled back. A lot of our clients pushed in. They were set up for success. They've been working with us for a while. They upped their marketing, upped their blogs. They did more. They pushed in, increased services, and it was really great because then ads were cheaper. But I'm thinking of a client of ours, actually 2 examples. We've one dentist we've worked with for 7 years, and in his industry, he just kept hearing, you need to start doing Google Ads. So once we shared that in San Diego, to even compete, you need to be spending $3,000 per month just on Google Ads. He was like, whoa, like, no, my business is great. I'm not going to invest. I don't invest that much each month just to compete. So in his case, he decided, I'm going to stick with local SEO and I'm not going to do Google Ads. However, for a solar company of ours, we do local SEO with him and do a content strategy. And then he also does some TV advertising, and he does just a teeny little bit of Google Ads. And so we just audited what he is doing. And we were like, we really think you need to increase in his city. He's in Albuquerque. We were like, we think you need to increase like $2,000 to $3,000 a month in Google Ads. Do this for 90 days. We know, because in his case, before 2 years ago, he used to go knock door to door. Solar companies, home services are marketing a lot differently now. And PPC is like really, really working well for those home service companies. But you're right, it is long-term. SEO to rank takes about 9 months. And that's when you're working with an expert. It's really hard to do it on your own because there's 10 other businesses competing for those same spots on Google, page 1.
Yeah. And so we talked about how to bring traffic in, how to bring in interested customers, patients saying, yeah, I want to work with you, or at least getting them on our website, right? And then the next part is the conversion part. And I want to kind of talk about story brand because that's something that you've done. I came across story brand and the book and the concept a few years back, and was really very excited and intrigued about what I read there and how the formula worked. If we can spend a few minutes talking about what the story brand is and how does it come out in the course of a website?
Yes. So that kind of goes back to the very first question I like to ask clients is, what is that top product or service you want to sell? And with story brand, it's a 7-part framework for your marketing message. And it makes you stay focused with whatever you write on your website. So before I would write, let's say, a new homepage, I want to know, what is that service we're trying to sell? And if it's a consultancy and you have lots of services, or you're a realtor and you work with buyers, sellers, and investors, like, to have a message that's compelling to all 3 of those audiences is tricky. We've done it. So we've done that, but it's tricky to do. But you can, especially since the number 1 page people go to is your homepage. That's where people go the most. So you really have to have that dialed in so that when someone goes there, they're scanning your homepage of your website. They don't care about your credentials. They don't care about you. They care about themselves. And can you solve my problem that I have right now? Why I went onto Google, got a referral to your site. They want to read and make sure that you can solve their problem. And then they know exactly how to buy or what that first step is to hire you. So I'd say for most of your listeners, it's probably schedule a call or book a call. That's a lot, especially if you're selling higher ticket, if you're selling a higher ticket package. For some people, that's $1,000. So for some people, that's 10,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's high ticket that you need to get a phone call. Some people, I bought stuff off of websites, didn't get on any phone call and spent more money than that. But like, that's because in that world, in business, high ticket could be even higher than that. So I love with story brand when you can get so simple to dial in your message, to have 3 or 4 words in those 7 boxes for your marketing message, really simple. Then when you go to write, it's like the guardrails of a bowling alley. Like, you stay focused and you're going to get more clients, patients, or customers that are the ideal ones you want to work with. You're going to repel the ones you don't want to work with, and you're going to work with the right ones. And that's how we've seen conversions go up from the traffic strategies that we've done for clients.
And what is that? You mentioned 7 boxes. Kind of give us, if you don't mind, a little bit of a layout of what that looks like.
Yes. So Donald Miller takes this from screen plays and storytelling, and he took a really complex, and when you go watch a movie, and he took it and made it just simple so a business could apply it really easy. So it's 7 boxes. So the first box, and the first thing you want to know is, when a client works with you, what transformation do you go to? So this is called your aspirational identity. And so that means, for example, let's say you're a realtor. Someone comes to you and they're just feeling stressed or anxious. They need to sell their home because they need to move because they got a new job. Well, after working with you, maybe they're going to feel freedom and peace. Okay, so you start there. What's that aspiration? I know that's
like, what's the outcome? What's the outcome?
Right,
what's the result?
outcome. Yeah, so they want to be a peaceful homeowner. Like, that's what they want. And that is important to do. And it's a little weird, especially if you're very analytical and rational like myself. That was so hard, those feeling words and picking that. The second area you want to go to is you want to ask the question, what does my customer want? Like, what do they really want? What are they Googling to find me? What do they want? The next area, so this is box number 3, is what is my customer's number one problem as it relates to what you're selling them? Okay, so you need to know what that is. And there's 3 levels of a problem. There is the external problem. That means I'm hungry, so I want a burrito. That's kind of what that is. I'm hungry. I need a burrito. You have their internal feeling. That's a feeling word of internally. This is the spot that my analytical friends like myself are like, we don't need feeling words on our website. Yes, you do. There's always a feeling. And that's what makes people buy, is it's feeling. They justify it logically, but they have a feeling that they want to go away, and they see you as a solution. And then you have, if you can solve all their problems, and the third problem is a philosophical problem. If you could say that in like one sentence on your website, then someone's like, yes, you know me. I want to hire you. I'll pay you whatever you want. I'll book a call and I'm ready to go. And so that's the biggest thing. And the problem that I see a lot of people make is they talk about themselves. So section number 4 is building yourself up as an authority. And so how you build yourself up as an authority, the guide, like the mentor, is you lead with empathy. I understand how you feel. I was like that too. But, I've worked with hundreds of clients to help them get this success over the past 20 years. And you can just say like 2 sentences on your website homepage that shows authority, maybe shows the logos. And then you go back to focus on them. What does success look like if they work with you? What does failure look like if they don't work with you? What are the 3 steps to work with you? Because no one will take action if they don't know where you're going to lead them. But if you can be really clear, like, first we're going to schedule a call. Second, you're going to pick a plan. Talking about if you have consult multiple services. And third, you're going to grow your business. It was very general. You want to be more specific than that and like come up with something a little better. But yeah, if you do a lot. So that was all 7 parts. If I went too fast, I know I did. I coach a 2-day workshop on this. So I just told you in 5 minutes, but just Google Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. It's a great book to get started. And they have a podcast that will go over more of the details for your specific industry and how to apply it.
Yeah, great. I'm looking at the clock and the time's running. You've been so generous, Liz, with the information you've shared. What inspired you to? So I'm just going to kind of ask you a couple of questions and then we'll finish up. What inspired you to get on the story brand thing? Like, did you read the book and you said, wow, I really like how this flows?
Yeah. So I was volunteering at church, and the director of the school asked me if once a week he could pick my brain. Normally, I do not like that. I will not let anyone pick my brain. You can hire me and then I'm all yours. But in this case, I wanted to volunteer, and I was like, that's great. A great way to volunteer. I don't have to be in the parking lot directing traffic. Sure, you can pick my brain. And he shared the book with myself, and he said, I would love it if you could help me implement this book to our school's website, free offer funnel, sales funnel, all that stuff. And we had got so much out of this for my husband and I, and just volunteering, that we built their website as well. What was really cool is when we implemented, so we're not story brand guides. You're not supposed to implement this stuff unless you're actually a certified guide. But we were asked to, and we did it. We launched their whole funnel. They started getting daily opt-ins. They had their largest enrollment that semester. And at that point, I was like, wow, I don't think we should keep doing SEO and Google Ads for clients unless they've applied StoryBrand first.
Yeah. So important, isn't it? Having the traffic come in, but having that, the website, so it converts the traffic that's coming in. Otherwise, it's wasted money almost, right?
Right, right. And we work with a lot of story brand guides. All the guides are amazing. Like you don't have to just work with me. Like we love SEO. And so we've partnered, say, with about 20 other story brand guides, and we'll do SEO when they have clients, or we will do keyword research before they write for their client's website to make sure that what they're writing will translate to Google too. So I like to do a combo. I call it story brand SEO. So it's
Yeah,
a little mix of both together.
you're
And
right,
so,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. Liz, if listeners want to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to do that?
Yes, I'm on Instagram the most, but this quarter I am back on LinkedIn more. But so on Instagram, I am under Liz Cortes with an S online, and that's how you can find me on LinkedIn as well. But our company is rebelfishlocal.com. And on our homepage, if you liked that tip about Google Business, I have a little mini course on the homepage, and it's a free little mini course on there. And it comes with a checklist, and that will help you really get strategic on how to do local SEO yourself over the next 90 days.
Oh, that's generous. That's awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. And yeah, we'll have the links in the show notes on the thing so people can reach you. Any final words of wisdom?
I'd say just keep trying things out. I know it can be frustrating when a strategy you invest in, your time or money doesn't work. And every business is a little different. And just because your friend did one strategy and it worked for them, just don't give up. I'm seeing just too many people give up on their dream of being a business owner or making multiple 6 figures or 7 figures, whatever that financial dream is. And I just say, get in community, listen to podcasts like this, and reach out to people in your industry or other industries and try out other marketing strategies. And I know you'll grow your business to what you want it to be.
Awesome. Thank you, Liz. This was amazing. Appreciate your time and everything you shared.
Thanks, Liam.
Bye-bye. Thanks, listeners, for watching this.